We've all been there before. We plan the road trip, we book the campsites, we pack the camper van, we drive for hours, only to realise when we get there that the place we've booked has absolutely nothing that we hoped it would have. We all work hard for our time off. The last thing that you want to do is to waste the time at a place that you just don't enjoy. Now in this video, I'm not just going to explain where to go, but I'm also going to explain why I like to go there and what type of trip that location is perfect for. The locations I've picked have got you covered for these following purposes. Unforgettable, dramatic scenery, the perfect central hub or base camp location, endless things to do and just an incredible feel, an absolutely blow your socks off driving road, and finally the best beaches in the world. Now I have no doubt at all that I've missed some beautiful other locations. If I have and you want to recommend somewhere else to someone else, pop it in the comments below and share it with the community. And on top of that, if you are here looking for a route for a Scottish road trip, then I've already done a video doing that, which is here. And also, that is the best route in Scotland, in my eyes. Miles better than the NC 500, and you can do it from really 3 nights onwards. So yeah, either click that now or wait till the end of the video, then give it a watch. It's the perfect Scottish road trip. Now, if you want a central location to use as a base while you explore the Scottish Highlands, then the first location has got you covered. You will definitely have heard of the name Fort William before, and if you haven't, then you probably have heard of Ben Nevis. But Fort William is more than just the home of the UK's highest point. It's the hub of the Scottish Highlands, with Glencoe, Glenfinnan, Aviemore, Loch Lomond, Morar, Dorney, Loch Ness, and of course the Isle of Skye, all within 2 hours drive. You're perfectly placed for a proper Scottish adventure. Fort William is a beautiful location in its own right, but it also has everything you need from a perfect base camp location. The shops you have back home, some great campsites, nice hotels, tons of B&Bs and plenty to do in the town itself. If I had to pick one place to stay while exploring the Highlands, Fort William would be it. Now originally I was going to keep my favourite location until last, but instead I'm going to put my wild card there and my favourite location next. So the second location is my favourite place I've ever visited for a bit of everything. It's the perfect location for families, for young people, old people, for people who love hiking, skiing or mountain biking. It gives you enough of the Scottish rural feeling while still giving you just enough access to everything that you're familiar with. I love this place. It's located in the stunning Cairngorms and it's a wonderful town called Aviemore. Now if you're into skiing, you've probably already know about Aviemore, but if not, then it's a must visit. There's so many things you can do in Aviemore that I can't really fit it all just in this video, but for hiking it's unbelievable. For people who love bikes it's even better. Activity wise there's all sorts, from clear pigeon shooting to dog sleds to quad biking to kayak and tons more. Aviemore also happens to be the home of Britain's only free-ranging herd of reindeer too, which to be fair are an impressive sight when you stumble on them at the end of a big snow-covered hike in January like we did. For me, there's no place quite like Aviemore. It's the only place I've ever been where it feels like everyone else is just as happy to be there as what you are. I can't recommend visiting the place enough, and if you do head there, I'd highly recommend Glenmore camping in the forest and some spicy wings and a nice drink in the Pine Martins bar. Now there's been many occasions that I've been to Scotland myself and I've noticed the amount of rubbish and the amount of litter and everything else and just the bad behaviour from us tourists visiting the area. Now the right to roam does help us enjoy and explore Scotland without being tied to campsites and all the rest of it, but at the same time that isn't a given. If I was a local there, I'd be annoyed at people like us a lot of the time, and I can't really blame them for it either, because a lot of the time we are just a bit of a nuisance. So all I want to say to everyone that is planning on any trips to Scotland, just make sure you take your crap with you, you tidy everything up, and you're respectful for the people that are lucky enough to call this place home. Next up is for the petrol heads, or just generally the people who love having beautiful scenery to drive through. There is no place quite like Glencoe for scenery while you're driving. Whether you've got a supercar or a slow old camper van, you'll be blown away by the drive. No matter what time of year you visit, the scenery is always incredible, and you'll never forget that first drive down the A82. On your way through, there are plenty of stopping points. There's a ski resort, there's tons of beautiful hiking routes to explore as well, so it's not just there for driving, it's a place everyone needs to visit at least once in their life, and it's my ultimate go-to places for that just blown away, breathtaking driving scenery. I want to visit a location where the scenery is so vast and dramatic looking, then I've never visited anywhere that does this quite like the Isle of Skye does. It's a place like nowhere else I've ever visited, and it's a place that I can't recommend highly enough either. The rock formations, the sunrise and sunsets, the mountains, the Isle of Skye literally has everything. You could quite easily spend a solid week on the Isle of Skye and still feel like you need more time there because it's so beautiful that you want to see every single corner of it. Now there are some places that look amazing on photographs, and then when you get there they're not quite as impressive as they were on your phone. But the Isle of Skye is literally the opposite of that. No matter who you are, or what camera you got, or anything else, you just can't quite ever seem to capture the scale of the locations on the Isle of Skye with a photo or a video. You have to see it with your own eyes to appreciate it fully. Now, I'll never forget the first morning that I ever sat and watched the sunrise over at Quorang, and I was blown away, and although it was absolutely freezing, I've never just sat and soaked something in quite like that before. There are so many places to visit on the Isle of Skye. It's an amazing, beautiful place that you'll always be wanting to head back to. Now, before we get on to the final location in the video, I've got one question and one question only. If you could only visit one holiday destination for the rest of your life and it couldn't be abroad, where would it be? Put your answer in the comments below and the location with the most comments. I'll personally go and visit, make a video on why it's good or bad if I think it's bad. And yeah, for me, without a doubt, it's the beautiful Aviemore. What a place. Now lastly, it's me wildcard, and mainly it's a wildcard because it's an absolute pain to get to and it does take quite a while to get there, but if you want to see some of the best beaches in the world, then you don't head down south, you don't head abroad, you just need to head to the Isle of Harris and Lewis. We've only managed to visit the place once and the weather was awful when we got there, so we didn't stay too long, but wow, what a place it was. We can't wait to go back. Now basically imagine Caribbean style white sand beaches with turquoise water but Scottish mountains in the background. There was also a spot that we stumbled upon down the side of Luscantire Beach that had some absolutely monstrous sand dunes on it as well, which just added to the whole atmosphere. When you drive up the A859, as you turn around the corner, the whole beach just appears in front of you with the mountains in the background. It's one of the most impressive views that I've ever seen. Be warned though, it isn't the easiest place to get to, and it is right in the northwest corner, and it will definitely involve a ferry, whether it's from Skye or from somewhere else, but it's worth the effort to get there if you put it in, because what a beautiful place, and there's just nowhere else like it that I've ever been before. Well, that's my 5 favourite locations that all serve a different purpose depending on the type of trip that I'm going for, and I hope it helps you plan your perfect itinerary for your Scottish road trip adventure. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.